What happens when you don't get love? This is a question my father used to ask my sisters and I when we were very young, and we knew the answer off by heart. You die. My name is Flavia Shaw-Jackson. I'm French. I'm a mother of 3 children, and I strongly believe that if you don't have love, you die. In 1999, I saw a documentary by the BBC on orphanages in China called The Dying Rooms. Children were simply awaiting death. The mortality rate was 95%. That evening, I decided that I wanted to do something about it. So in 2003, I decided to go to Cairo to see what I could do. I visited many orphanages, and I saw many children that had their basic needs. They had a roof, they had food, they had clothes, but no love and affection. I then visited many slum areas where I saw children that had so little. They didn't have a roof, not enough food, no electricity, no sewage, but they had parental love and care. And these children, their eyes were sparkling with light. So this was a confirmation to me that children need love to thrive and survive. My goal was to get as many children as possible love, as well as reintegrate them into society. This is why I created FACE in 2003. The aim of FACE was to bring help to orphans and street children and reintegrate them into families and society through love and affection. In Egypt, the number of street children living and working on the streets vary between 50,000 and 1 million, depending on the sources. They are pushed onto the streets by poverty, family breakdown, and abuse. Once they're on the streets, they face police arrest, organ trafficking, sexual abuse, and rejection from society. So how do we at FACE help reintegrate these children into families, schools, jobs, and society? How do we help these children become stronger, better, happy adults? The first thing we do is build trust with the children. This happens on the streets in Cairo. We have 2 outreach teams for the last 7 years that work on the streets day and night to make contact with the children. We use very non-intrusive methods. We don't ask children any questions as we want to build trust with them. We give them medical care, hygiene, fun and games through non-formal education, but we don't give them anything else as we believe that will be only helping them stay into the streets. We also teach them life skills, how to protect themselves on the streets. We educate them on health, hygiene, reproductive health, organ trafficking, drugs, road safety, as well as child rights. This is part of boosting the child's self-confidence and self-worth on the streets. Once we have built this trust in the child, we talk to him about our drop-in center. We never bring the children back to our drop-in center because we believe that's a decision that has to come from in the child himself. This is probably one of the most important decisions for the child. So once they come themselves to our drop-in center, which is open every day from 9 to 5, we give the children medical support, psychological support, food, a shower, and a place where they can feel safe. But we also teach the children to accept rules, as on the streets they live without rules or any constraints. In the drop-in center, we also have a non-formal education sessions. These sessions are supposed to be fun, simple, and child-centered. This is where we will teach the children basics in literacy, maths, geography, science, history. The non-formal education sessions are more goal-orientated rather than certificate-orientated, as there we are trying to instill in them the desire to learn. We also have a child-friendly school where we will give them remedial classes to upgrade their education levels to be able to reintegrate them into Egyptian schools with the Ministry of Education. This also helps to close the gap between living on the streets with no rules and integrating a much more formal classroom. In our drop-in center, we also have a transitional home. We call this transitional because we do not want to keep the children in the home. It's just a place where they can stay a short while, as we believe we have to take children out of institutions and put them back into families. What we also use in the drop-in center is child participation as a very strong empowering tool. So it's the children themselves that will decide on the rules and consequences, with the help, of course, of the social workers. There will also be a child representative that will be elected, and he can participate in the management meetings. The children also decide every day on the games, the activities, and the programs that they would like to have done during the day. The third step for us is a very important part of FACE's work is to reintegrate the children into families, schools, jobs, and society. The tool we use for this is case management. This is at the heart of our project. A case manager will be chosen for a child, and he will open a file and will only be able to close the file once the child is integrated. The case manager will work with the child to see whether he should, depending on his age, be reintegrated into a school, into vocational training, or into job placement. He will make sure the child gets psychological support and or counseling. He will also sit with the child and set life goals for the child that are achievable and realistic for him. One of the important things a case manager will do also is work with the families and the children at the same time. The aim of this is trying to find out exactly why the child has found himself on the street and to solve this initial problem. Of course, one of the main problems is poverty. So this is where we will try also work with the mother, the father, or the parents to start small income-generating businesses so that they can be financially viable to be able to support their children. We will help them open small shops, mechanics, and we'll teach them how to do accounting, run the business, and become profitable. In the same time, we'll have a contract with the mother that she will have to then reintegrate her children into the schools. So what we do at FACE is we try and work in a very holistic way for a child and give the child love as well as education at the same time. One does not go well without the other. If a child is feeling rejected or unloved, he will have difficulties in learning, and he will also have difficulties reintegrating into society. Today, FACE has around 150 employees. 100% of them are Egyptian. This is for the sustainability of the project. The staff work on our Street Children project, but also on our other project, which I haven't talked about here, which is our Early Childhood Development Program. We have reintegrated about 407 children into homes. This number does sound very low, but we only consider a child successfully reintegrated into his family after 1.5 years. About 35,000 services have been given to street children. We give approximately 2,600 medical support to children every year, and we have given around 3,200 remedial classes. So today, FACE is slowly helping to improve the lives of Egyptian children. We are now working on proposing a national strategy to the Egyptian government to try and shift children from orphanages, institutions, or living on the streets into families. This has seemed to be accepted by the relevant ministries now, and we are currently creating a national alternative care unit. So FACE today has tools and know-how that we have created and are using in Egypt, and we are willing to see if these tools could help other smaller NGOs all over the world who work with street children or vulnerable children. At the same time, FACE is very keen and willing to learn from others. We would very much like to hear and learn from others, other methods, ideas, so that we can continuously improve and adapt our project. I feel that together we can do much more by joining forces to try and improve efficiency in bringing, in helping children, vulnerable children, become happy, well-educated, independent adults of tomorrow. and remember what happens if you don't get love. Thank you.